We'll open up to whoever's got a question first.
Jamie, first game here last night.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on the atmosphere, the crowd.
Yeah, great to be home no matter what, and obviously extra special when you're opening up a new stadium. You know, there's been a lot of people behind the scenes working on just the project, you know, for 2 years, and from last year to this year, and then making, you know, opening day really special, and it did not disappoint at all. I know we felt it as a program from the players, but you know, it takes a village to pull something like this off, and we got a great village behind us too. So it was a very special night.
When you took this job, I guess it's been 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Was that part of the package? Did Ole Miss tell you at that point, we're going to build you a new stadium?
That was, I think, in the conversation long before me. It was part of the conversation. It didn't have any bearing on me accepting this position, but you know, I know that it's been something they've wanted to do for a while. There's a lot of different pieces and factors that come into, you know, $35 million stadium and everything too. So proud to be part of it, and really excited as the pieces keep falling together and it gets completed here.
Coach, I got one for you.
Yeah.
On a more personal note for you,
Yeah.
you were 1 win away from 500 wins. What does that mean to you on a personal level, and you know, as you look on your whole coaching journey?
Yeah, well, it's really easy. It means I've been around a lot of great people. You know, I'm a big believer in whatever you accomplish, you didn't do it alone. You have a lot of people to thank, and you never forget where you come from. So it just means I was part of a lot of good programs, a lot of good players and great coaches to share that with. So I'm proud of what that means in their overall picture of my career, but it's extra special knowing the people that I did it with, you know.
You talk about the field coming in here this weekend, a little bit about South Al, Nichols, Murray.
Yeah, South Alabama traditionally is a great program. Postseason, they're always in postseason, challenging for the championship in their conference. So we will not be underestimating anybody, but very aware of them and who they have on their roster. Nichols State's a program that's been on the rise for several years, and I'm not quite as familiar with Murray State. I don't know that I've ever played them at any point in my career. So excited to kind of see them, but I think it's a strong pool. You see nationally that, you know, you can, on any given day, anybody can beat anybody, and so there's enough for us to keep ourselves busy and occupied with the things that we need to control or can control in the way that we need to keep getting better. But underestimate our opponent is never one of those things that we're going to do.
Coach, Miley Wachenio took over the national league in strikeouts last night. I mean, for a freshman, it's pretty incredible. So, you know, what's been behind that, and what have you liked so far?
Yeah, well, we recruited Miley a few years ago, so we've seen her the last couple of years and even her development and her growth. And so she's a competitor. That's one thing. And she's had success throughout her career. So when you look back in high school and in travel ball and who she's competed against and what she's done, which is essentially who she's playing against now, you know, she's got great stuff. But above that, her mentality, she's fearless. She wants to be out there. She competes, and she's a great teammate. If you watch her, she's always going to be engaged with her teammates. She's going to turn around and bring them in with her no matter what the situation is. And I think, you know, the combination of that, the mentality, the fearlessness, the competitor in her, obviously the stuff that she has, the work ethic that she has, but she's a great teammate too. It's been fun to see her have the start that she's had.
Jamie, 13-3 start. We talked about this earlier this week, but just your thoughts on that. The 3 losses, all in extra innings. You feel like you've got the pieces this year to win?
I do. You know, we definitely have the pieces. It's our job to put them together, and it's kind of why you play a whole season. You don't want to peak too soon, and because we have so many new pieces, coaching staff, 8 transfers, 8 freshmen, you know, we really feel like we're going to be a team that continues to get better each and every week and can be a team that's on the rise, you know, throughout the season and certainly in conference. So it's our job to put the pieces together for sure. But even as a staff, there's a lot of new things that we experience together that require a lot of conversations behind the scenes and ironing out some details. But it's been a fun ride. Our players come every single day engaged, totally invested in their overall well-being and success, and are completely bought in, and that's a great place to be.
Elia Benford crushed one out of here last night. She's been as good as advertised. Just your thoughts on her?
Yeah, and her body of work kind of says that too. When you look back at her career and what she's accomplished and who she's been, Again, there's a competitor, there's a confidence about her that she takes with her. She goes in the box, she swings to do damage. It's a violent approach, you know, a little bit too, which is why I think she has the success she has there too. So the mentality and the confidence of her, three-way player, we look for her to keep getting better and having just as much impact as she's had already as we keep moving forward.
I've got one more for you. Taylor Malvin has stepped up really nicely in the leadoff role. I think she's hitting 400 as of today. You know, it seems to be a pretty cool story as one of the long-term ones on this team. So, what's been the key to her success this year?
Super happy for her, you know. And again, what you're seeing now is years of the work she's put in. Every day she comes with a great attitude, receptive to coaching, coachable, puts in work on her own time. You know, has gotten better each and every area, not just in the box. And, you know, I think that is literally a reflection of who she's been since the day she stepped on campus. So it's always a story you root for, and when you have it, you're happy for them, but it's not just an emotional story. She's been extremely productive for us and been a huge reason why we've been able to do what we've done, especially offensively.
You told me earlier this week or you reminded me that you were used to playing a lot of games on the road at the front end of the season. How happy are you with the way that your team adjusted to the hotel rooms, the buses, doing the schoolwork, all of that?
Yeah. You know, we had a great academic semester. I think we had a record GPA, which with the rest or 25 is hard to do just because you have more kids, but they really like each other, and I think the relationships from the top all the way down amongst ourselves as coaches, the managers, including the players, like they really enjoy being around each other, and that makes it easy to be on the road. The road trips go fast. You know, going to and from was easy, so there was no complaints. Our biggest challenge probably was, I think we had every morning game except for one day for 3 weeks. So we're getting up between 5 and 6 every morning, which just kind of makes you resilient in its own right. So, but you got to be able to win, find different ways to win to be a good team and to advance your season. You have to be able to win at home and defend your home turf. You've got to be able to win on the road. And I like the success that we've had early and what we've had to go through to keep us prepared when we do have to go out.
One last question from me. Are you now finding it easier to recruit Mississippi talent as the game grows in this state? I know in the past coaches here have had to go out of state, and I know y'all still have to do that to an extent, but is it getting easier?
We're always looking for talent, and I think to build your program, you really want to build it from the inside out. So we're always open and looking and searching for your local talent, in-state talent, regional talent. We're a teaching staff, a development staff, so it's just finding the right kid and the talent for the need that we have in that class and as a program. But you're right, the level of athlete, the level of softball continues to grow in this region, and you know, we're always looking to keep our in-state kids home and recruit regionally as well.
All right, guys, any more questions?
Yeah. Okay, so last weekend before conference play, non-conference schedule, what do you want to see this weekend heading into Arkansas next week?
Just for us to keep challenging the consistency. I think we've had that in the circle for the most part this year. So defensively, just kind of cleaning some of those things up. The communication, we've had a lot of different moving parts, so that's such a big component when you have a lot of people moving positions, is the communication and making sure everyone knows what their alignment and assignments are. And then obviously run production too. So every game is an opportunity for us to see our athletes, to see them perform, for us to get more comfortable with them and kind of how to use everybody with each other, whether that's lineup, who's following who pitching, what to make the right changes defensively. We have a lot of people who can do different things, and it's our job to manage that, but we use every opportunity to get ready for conference.
Brianna was a kind of come in and shut people down last year. Do you see her doing the same thing, or do you see her, getting starts in the games for you?
Both roles. Yeah, both roles. Bree was awesome for us, and being new last year, I think it took us a little bit to really understand what she can do, and she is very different besides just coming from the left side, but She was in starting roles, she was in late relief, she was a closer sometimes. So Bree is very even keeled. She's like the water you skip a rock across. So there's a lot of trust in the different ways that you use her, because she's just going to give you a really consistent approach, mentality, and performance.
Last year, well, I should say the last couple of years have always been a pitch by committee.
Yeah.
You still have that philosophy this year, or have you labeled anybody 1, 2, and 3, or just, you know, matching up, you know, best to the pitcher's arms? I mean, what are you looking at this year?
Just to see, you know, make sure who's available, you know, who can do what, put them in the right situations to be successful. I think it's ironing itself out as we learn. Miley's a freshman, Bree's in year 2, so, but we have a new staff, so I'm familiar with Bree, but our staff is not familiar with Bree. You know, and even Aaliyah being a mid-year transfer, so, and then Allie Cooper, who just hasn't had quite as many opportunities yet, and a couple others that we have on staff. So we'll use them how we need to, you know, but we're also trying to prepare them to be able to go 7 innings too, you know, and not have to rely on someone coming in, you know, to maybe close that game, especially if you have a lead that they can close. So
you've kind of been blessed with that going 7 innings thing, because I think you guys are on an 8-game win streak. 5 of the 8, I think, have been shutouts.
Yeah.
What does that say about your staff? And
yeah, means they're pitching well. And Nancy's doing a great job calling pitches, and our defense is making plays. So, and we need to continue to do that to limit opportunities from our offense to turn it, or our opponents to be able to turn it over for our offense. But our pitchers have been really very consistent in their performances, and have continued to get better. Our defense is getting better and more consistent too, with so many people kind of moving around, and that's our job, you know. But you know, their ability, and I think that also is a credit to Nancy and their preparation, and also pitch calling, being able to call good pitches the 3rd or 4th time that you're seeing someone roll through their at-bats.
All set. We're good. All right.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.